This should be packing up straight away, because my army will block it. And here we go. If it does draw fire, it'll only help kill the enemy.
Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game, and we're on Woodlands map for this one. I'm going to show a few games, and I'm going to show them in the order I played them today. So I'm using Russia, and my opponent's using Russia for this one. Woodlands has got a closer oil derrick and a sort of mid-range oil derrick. They're both fairly easy to take and hold because they're close to your home base. But it does give you opportunities to hunt for engineers because they move between the two oil derricks, so you have to escort your engineers carefully. Plus there are barrels on this map, so they can be sniped. If you're lazy with your engineer, you can lose it one way or another. But my opponent seems to have sent their infantry straight for me, and my 3 engineer hunters will find that out for me. I've ordered my engineer to go this route anyway, but I haven't discovered these guys. But I should be aware because of them moving this way. I've left one rifleman. Yeah, he's been caught. Yeah, I saw those guys that did try and detonate the barrels. I sent the engineer back. I didn't know if he'd sent a last rifleman this way. You never know. There's no point keeping each direction safe except one. See, there are stray rifles, look, from both sides. Now, I've captured my first oil derrick, but obviously I've been taking my time about the second. My opponent's taken his first. He's just heading towards his second oil derrick now, but it doesn't look like his engineer's going that way. He's securing it first by the looks of it. But I'm sending rifles out. That's a wounded rifle. I don't think he'll make it, nah. There's my usual rifle guard looking out for early grenadiers or engineers moving around the edges of the map. I've left my engineer there and I've taken both oil derricks. My opponent is just starting to capture their second oil derrick, and they are exploring. These rifles, he actually took, yeah, I think my rifleman would have been moving towards this guy, so he had the defender's advantage because he got there first. Waiting to find out when I'm expanding, obviously. This is an early grenadier drop. I have not been using them much, and they are a favoured tactic of mine, so I thought, right, well, why not? It means my infantry are without a vehicle, but I'm not being that aggressive. I'll hold on to my 2 oil derricks for now and use the view range of that for an advantage, and hope for that this will do enough. Now, it is early, and I'm not actually scouting first. Obviously, here, look, I can't see anything. So you're taking a big chance by just sending an APC around the edge of the map like this. But it is early. It's not even 4 minutes into the game. You can, you've got a fair chance of seeing what's there before you're destroyed, hopefully. And a lot of players don't have much in the base, like this example. Now, I haven't ordered it there yet, but you don't want to hang about. You see, I'm moving, look, there's no point leaving it there. And I saw a flak truck targeting my rifleman, so I moved this one away because I thought, well, the next obvious place is going to be to the edge, looking for a rifle guard. Because I've seen riflemen positioned here and there, and look, they're positioned to track my expansions, then this player seems like he's competent. That's why I thought, right, well, I need to do something, and tried this. And here we go. My opponent's placed a flame tower, but I'm going to move out of the way. There's no point just trying to do damage. And here we go. We've done the first power plant. Now, my grenadiers are ordered to attack power plants 4 of them, and the 5th one attacks the service depot, but my opponent placed a flame tower, and he took them out quite quickly. Let's have a look at the condition. Their power is in a bad way. Now there's my opponent's force here. Luckily the flak truck for them has been held up because it would have gone first, reached there probably by now and warned me. But I've got more than enough. I'm not going to leave my base undefended, and my APC escaped. I'm now protecting my expansion. And they've recovered the power. So that's quite good. Impressive. They recovered from that quickly. Here we go. They've launched their attack. And they have a few rocket soldiers in there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm moving them away, my ore trucks. And I'll see. Yeah, as a base defense. Won't need much to deal with this. And they're already targeting a different ore truck. They can move through the refinery. Look, that's how I can hide an engineer behind an enemy one when it's capturing, or for the chokehold or something. You can position units kind of inside. It's just the same way you can place a unit over a service depot. You can place it behind a refinery. Some of their squares you can move through. But I found this straight away and thought, whoa, hang on a minute, what's going on here? I didn't expect that. That's an aggressive expansion, but there's no refinery, but, you know, it's cutting me off. So I decided to fall back and have these guys meet them. There's a vehicle at least. And there we go. Just enough in case they were chased down. Close handling. We need to go back to... Let's have a look at combat tab. I'm at 14,000 army value. My opponent's at 11,000 army value. And because of this, I've left a strong... I'm leaving a strong force at my base. And this isn't such a strong force now. He's spotted my MCV. Hopefully, I engage with that rifleman, so by the time my opponent checked, they'll think it's units. But, you know, I have to assume he's seen it. You just have to. 13,000 to 17,000 in army value now in my favour. And here we go, we've got an engagement. And my opponent, they've sent... This is to escort their MCV, and I spotted that and changed my target. Knocked out. And then continue targeting the enemy, and I realised they've got no vehicles there. So I got my vehicles up front, finished it, and went on an eco raid, which I saw still hadn't been sorted. So my opponent has gone for some kind of counter-attack, which is always a good idea, but not into this. My opponent, obviously, you can see then. So look, you can. My opponent can see this. They're saving units, look, saving vehicles. They're going here, and there's their attack. That's what my opponent can see. And there you go, I'm bringing in more units, base defences. I'm comfortable, I'm confident that I can win this. My forces are comfortable, placing structures around him to give me view range. I've got vehicles on site, they're doomed there. And my attack, I've realised when I pay my attention here, there you go, I've got a free house, free base to destroy. My opponent's called GG. And I agree, yes, it was a good game. Now, let's see. I shouldn't have stopped anything. There we go. I wanted to clear this away, and my opponent says thanks for the warm-up. Well, these are idle. I should be destroying things. And there you go. All done. So, that was a quick game. I'll go through the graphs and charts quickly. Yeah, my opponent was just slightly behind in army value, and they recovered from the grenadier drop quickly, so I don't think it was anything to do with that. There's the earnings. My opponent did well, look. Yeah, that's quite good for earnings. My finishing army, a few tanks, got an engineer and some troops. Just basic stuff. 18,000 army value. My opponent lost 5 structures. I lost 2. My opponent killed 81 units, I killed 112. My opponent destroyed 14,000 credits worth of my assets, I destroyed 26,000 credits worth of theirs. No support powers in effect, it was a quick game. Still producing the basics. I've got 6 ore trucks, I hung on to both oil derricks. I earned 55,000 credits, my opponent earned 44,000 credits. My opponent was at 36 actions per minute, I was at 29 actions per minute, and there's your basics and scores. So I'm going to move on to our second replay.
Battle control terminated.
And like I say, I'm going to just play these games in the order I played them. I'm going to post them like in the order that I played them, basically. Put them in this replay. And this is a 1v1 multiplayer game. My opponent picked Elevation for the map, and my opponent's using Ukraine. I'm using Russia for this one. And I do like this map. That's why I joined the game, because I've played it a fair few times, and I'm not really good on it, but I do like the map. I've said before, I do like the 3 neutral tech structures that you capture near each base. Now, my opponent's got a couple of dogs. They've actually got a barracks and a power plant, so it's a normal build order. But they've built a kennel and sold it. Now they're on a normal build. So they're hunting for the engineer, hoping that I've moved ahead. Or he's just going straight for his oil derrick, look. Because I think they can jump over certain obstacles. But I've got these 2 guys. Yeah, I got 1 dog. So that's warned me to be careful and keep close to the engineer. There's my opponent's engineer. Yeah, they killed both my troops. Oh, nice. Hero. Not for long. And there's the dog joining the battle. So I decided to move my troops back. I thought, right, well, there's not much point, you know, moving forward and splitting my small group of rifles. So I've got these 2 to escort the engineer, take the communication centre, because I want the view range from that. It's essential. I've said in other posts that you place your expansion here, you've got the view range from the comm centre, and place a rifleman or something here, you've got a really good field of view there. There, my opponent's detonating barrels. They've got the dog's view range. And they're escorting an engineer to my forward command post. And it looks like I've just started to move forward. Building war factories now. The kennel slowed my opponent's build very slightly. As long as I place my war factory when it's ready. And here we go. We've got something. My opponent's engineer's left. Oh, he's moving around there. I've only got 2 rocket soldiers there. And I'm making a grenadier drop. Just decided to do that today and try it. And my opponent's patrolling my oil derrick. And I've actually sent my APC to escort my troops just to make sure I can clear this area out. And we've got a flame tower. And I've got 1 rocket soldier left and it's just killed it. Now, I've got my other rocket soldier here. But in the meantime, my troops are burning. And look, it's almost gone. So I'm thinking press attack and finish it. This is bad luck. And then I see my APC with the grenadiers in getting destroyed, attacked by 2 flame towers, which, no. Call it off, and they've just destroyed that while I was distracted. So my opponent's got a nice advantage, and they've got their forward command post, no problem. But they've also got mine. And for some reason, they've sold the flame towers. Right. I've sent my APC around there. I avoided that. The engineer. Look, he made it because of the slightly out of view range of my rifle that was posted here, and they've just cleared him out. So my APC is here. This is my attempt at fighting back. And the dog is on patrol looking for shady units moving around the edge of the map. That's a good use of the dog because they are slightly quicker than infantry, but I've got my APC here. not there. And I've noticed that lot. Can I get him? Come on. Perfect. Dealt with that guy. I killed one of those engineers. Now my opponent has another. There's my APC. There we go. There's the other engineer, and I've dropped off the grenadiers. 2 have been squashed, and they kind of popped and exploded. 3 are still alive. That's enough to kill a power plant. Another one's been crushed. Now he's sold that to get units to shoot at them. And I'm moving these grenadiers. One's dead. And this guy, I thought, right, they're faster than any other infantry. I'll leg it out in an odd direction and leave him there. And the APC can go and get repaired. Oh, look, there's the engineer going in the same direction. If I'd just hung on a bit. Look, these guys are actually going in that direction. I don't want to miss anything here. There's my expansion, well escorted. There's my APC, and it's on move command, so hopefully it'll just crush these guys. No need. And there's his other engineer off on a little journey that way. Right, I've got my first expansion set up. Let's have a look at combat chart. 15,000, 16,000 to my opponent, 14,000 to me in army value, and here we go, here's the attack. And I'm worried because my units are out of position, but I thought I'd stick with my place, my position. I'm not giving it up and running because I'll lose units doing that. So here we are, luckily, and I got view range on him with that structure and primary production set here. So now I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I've actually won that engagement, and it looked like I should run away, but I stuck with my stick to your guns, and I did. And I've still got a force back here, look. So yeah, that was good, and I thought, right, well, if he's low on units, I'm going to go on a counter-attack. And he must have known that I was going to do that. Or guessed, but what's to defend the base? And I thought, I can't send everything, so what I'm going to do is, I've sent my APC to escort this MCV, and that's going to set up an expansion here, and I've got rid of the guards. And while that's in position there, I've spotted units, look. But I want to attack anyway and do some damage, so I'm hitting the power plant. And then getting the ore truck. But I knew I had to keep these units moving, and I saved these units rather than send them after them. There's an ore truck gone. There's my MCV still set up. There's a flak truck, and you can see I've got units there now, and I've destroyed another power plant. My opponent's in low power, and I thought I've got to save these units or at least make a nuisance with them, and I ran into a flame tower, look. So I thought, right, they've got to keep moving, and I got these units. Here we go, my opponent still sent that engineer, but he knows I've got units in the base, and there's mine. I've got my expansion set up there with a base defense and an APC. And look, they finally caught my tank. So I'm producing units here now. This is probably my main expansion. And there we go, we've got a capture. Look, my opponent's engineer is actually capturing my war factory, and I don't know it. Look at how close it is. And I've sold that. Shot him just in time. And now I'm launching my counter-attack, and my vehicles haven't caught up. Oh yeah, there is one there, and I saw my opponent was ready, and I can't have that. I can't run into an attack against an opponent that's good and is ready for me. I could have hit him anywhere else. That was a bit of a mistake. We need to check the army values again. 12,000 to my opponent, 15,000 to me. And I'm in the retreat here, but gathering units as best I can. Tank production and infantry production, but I've got no structures producing. There we are. Now I'm building another war factory. And we've got a small attack here, but, well, what of it? I think they're riflemen just for distraction value. So now I'm wondering what to do. I'm sending rifle scouts out, look. If only I'd known how vulnerable my opponent was and how few defences, I could have used this force here to destroy all that. And then I could have had a radar dome ready to use the chokehold. It would have been lovely. But I'm moving out. I have to. I wonder where primary production is then. And what my opponent's up to. Yeah, there's a scout. Here's some units going on a little eco raid. See, a lot of the attacks, they actually start a lot earlier when units are being ordered to move around the edges of the map and move into places, say past one ore field into another and stuff. Sometimes they don't find anything at the first one or two. So units can be moving for a fair while. And my opponent's attacking pretty much at the same instant I am. But I've got units here enough to sort of hold them for a moment, and I'm packing up and leaving, and I thought, I mind that, it's done, there's no point spending too many resources fighting for it. So the ore trucks and the MCV are getting out of there while I overrun this lot. Got a war factory. That's handy. And there was still got that attack there, but I'm responding and trying to build up units, and my opponent's got a decent force there. Now there's my army, and I've decided to press on. And I may have been distracted, otherwise why am I not shooting at that construction yard? Oh, I must have been worrying about this. Look, packing that up. And it escaped. Yeah, he got away. There we are, overrunning the base with very little resistance, although I've left a tank behind to die. And my opponent's attack is doing big damage, but I'm trying to resist with what few assets I've got. I got V2s, look, and fumbled them. Oh, nice try. Yeah, I couldn't, yeah, I could have got away, look. What a shame. I was over here by then, back and forth, trying to finish everything off. And then I thought, I'm going to need a place to fall back. So I need a place to produce vehicles and infantry, so I should be building, yeah, power plant. I'll probably need that. And there we are, I've done that. I should have carried on there. And this force is smaller than what I've got. Let's have a look at army values. My opponent's at 14, I'm at 15,000. I thought I'll keep this force together as a decent force, but... yeah, I'm trying to set up an expansion. There's infantry production over here. And I thought I'll keep two places and I've got a decent army. I was actually thinking about this, and there's nothing there. There's two ore trucks from my opponent. Trying to save them. There, I'm using my APC to check out what's going on there. Got a few stragglers. My home base is entirely gone. My opponent's is as well, but they've got their MCV going back. And here we are, I've got my army. Setting up base defences. Here we go, they found me. This should be packing up straight away. Because my army will block it. And here we go, if it does draw fire, it'll only help kill the enemy. Look at that, that's nice. There we go, I've got the view range of the structure as well, repairing, and I decided to place this and place base defences. I've lost my vehicles, but not too bad. My opponent's got a larger army, and I thought, that's a shame, I thought I'd won that engagement. I did, honestly did, but it's a shame. Now my MCV's running, I'm going to have to give this up. I've got ore trucks on the way to their death by the looks of it, and I've mined out this lot. My eco raid isn't going to do much. I'm going to target one ore truck. So I have to give that up and try set up a second expansion here. But I didn't want my opponent to see where my ore trucks were going and know where my other expansion was. But I thought units coming from here, they're going to guess. See, the flame tower shots won't do as much damage if it's moving. Look, there you go. Oh, I lost it. And I can't defeat this force with no vehicles. Small force there remaining. And now I am building a second light base here. But that's it. Obviously, we're over. It's over. There's my ore trucks, my final base. I am building infantry, and I can build vehicles. It'll be APCs. Look, I'm just speeding this up a little bit for the final part. And I am placing structures over here. 11,000 army value to 7,000 to my opponent, and I'm moving forward there to set up another expansion, but I placed a refinery there instead, thinking I'd best spread them out. There, my opponent's hunting. Nice patch of gems to mine. And I've had to resort to APCs as well. They've found each other. Oh look, they've dropped troops off. And I thought, well, I'll hopefully spread my troops out and then run over his. But they got squished. Not good. There's one of my opponent's MCVs there. Those two ore trucks made it. And there we go, another army on its way. I can't fight an army, that was my last hope. A few units. Probably building, yeah, service depot. But I won't have the war factory for long, I'm assuming. They're leaving with what assets I can, taking the MCV, ore trucks, and APCs, selling up. There, I've got a service depot, so any vehicles that come out of there, I'm ordering them to the edge of the map. My opponent's split up, and I saw APCs hunting, so I thought these will have to go in a separate direction to my MCV to draw them away. Doesn't know what's in them. There might be grenadiers in, and plus it doesn't want to give up the chance to kill ore trucks. Look, there was rocket troops in theirs. I'm building up some more units, look. There we are, I've got left in the middle. I've set up another MCV there. Can build tanks again. Here we go. But APC's engaging on their own. They have to watch it because it doesn't take much to take them out, but they'll run over infantry once it reaches the right point. You have to have enough rocket troops to destroy them. Yeah, look at that. That's just about enough. And they've made it through. Yeah, look at that. Got plenty of ore trucks to earn some cash when I need it, and just can't spend it right now. I've got a barracks and a war factory and all the resources I could use at the moment, but my opponent may be 28. There's a tank. So one made it down there. Out from the war factory here. There we go, I've got an eco raid. And I thought, right, build... let me see what I'm building at the moment. There, I'm about to place a refinery, but I've got an eco raid here, look. And because, there we are, radar dome. Because I saw that, I thought, right, this is a chance, a final chance to do something and get some infiltrations. I wasn't, it would have been infiltrations. I couldn't have held it and captured it or anything because, you know, he's got too many assets to grab it. So I hope to get the cash out of it. He hasn't got any to steal. That would have been a waste of time. And I'm making flak trucks to deal with the aircraft. Because this force, I was hoping it'd set up at my home base, because I've sent a tank, look, it's going on an eco raid here. And this force is hoping to attack the enemy here, even though I have sent them up through the base. And there's some flak trucks to protect my units. And I've got to replace the defence force here. And there's a big army coming. Yeah, there we go, my tank's on its way. Might have moved just enough to take that out. Nice. Yeah, they've destroyed it, and there's my base. It's downfall. My thieves look. It's on its infiltration, and that was a demo truck. My opponent's got a little bit of cash, and there's my attack force. There's no enemy there. So I moved in this way, knowing there was some stuff here. And there you go, there's the end of it. They found my MCV, obviously. And this is my last attack. Following the final orders given, and that's it. They've destroyed everything. So I'll go through graphs and charts for you. There you are, there's the army graph. It was a decent fight up to 14 minutes or something. You know, I just lost it after then. But there's the earnings, a bit of ups and downs there. And my opponent had a decent army at the end. He was even making mammoth tanks. So yeah, he had a decent army. 33,000 army value. My opponent lost 22 structures. I lost 46 structures. My opponent killed 402 units. I killed 290 units. My opponent destroyed 131,000 credits worth of my assets. I destroyed 90,000 credits worth of their assets. I've got all the support powers, parabombs, paratroopers, and spy plane because they're Ukraine, so they do have parabombs. On a 5-minute timer. I've got production, building advanced power plants, mammoth tanks and aircraft. Nice weapons to finish the job with. They've hung on to an oil derrick, look. I've got 6 ore trucks left. I did a little bit of damage, but they earned 157,000 credits. I earned 142,000 credits, so not too bad for cash. And my opponent was at 33 actions per minute, and I was at 33 actions per minute. If only I'd have finished them off when I won that engagement here. I could have... I don't know. I should have done something else. I thought it was the right move. I don't you know, whatever. It was a shame. But there's the scores. And 1,257 to my opponent, 860 to me. There's your kills and everything. So there's all your graphs and charts. I'll go to my next game just to fit that in because hopefully the video length won't be too long.
Terminated.
Should be okay. Yeah, that doesn't look like too long a game. And this is a 1v1 multiplayer game, and we're on Separateness map. I'm using Russia, my opponent's using Germany for this one. There's a central oil derrick and one fairly close to each home base on this map. So there is one, this is the contestable oil derrick. Usually you should go straight for it, or at least have some presence there, to even if it's just to check that your opponent's gone for it. It's important to do that. Right, where are these guys going? In different directions. Right, they're going to take this one first. That's what I'm doing. I've actually stopped my engineer to make sure they go ahead. Wonder what they're up to. But I've got 4 rifles guarding the oil derrick until the engineer was trained and the rest can join them. Now the rest of my rifles are there. These guys can move forward. And there's my opponents moving the home base out, MCV out. Very interesting. Some players do. It's not an uncommon thing. And if you've practiced with it, then it's a viable build. If you know what you're doing, then it can work. It's got certain features. Obviously, it gets you expansions very early and stuff, and you can start to place defences and stuff early, even if it's not going to be as strong as it could be. You know, as long as you know what you're doing and you know how to handle it, then it's a viable option. I like to have build radius at my home base, at least at the start of the game. Because that's the only thing that can defend your home base if I attacked it. Infantry production, and if you don't have any ready and I moved units in, I'll kill them as they're trained, and it's his only barracks. So that would be GG. But I've moved forward, look, even though I have seen some enemy presence, there's an enemy engineer. And my units have been ordered to like go in that direction. Got him. Interesting. And they were already veterans. Actually, there's 2 veterans there, look. That's unlucky. But they've got the units placed well to defend their expansion. That's what these three guys are there for then, I guess, to check it's safe for the MCV. Interesting. And my scouts are being shot the moment they turn up. And that is a sign of a base that's, like, well protected. So, you know, it's, I didn't exactly get presented with a picture of just 3 structures. I didn't think that's what I would find. But I'm still searching a lot because there's no presence from my opponent in strength anywhere, so I'm going to check out what's going on. And you should always do this, send units to check what the opponent's doing. And their war factory's here, so they've got 2 refineries. They're only slightly behind in their build order. That is interesting. And that's the second war factory. That's no, I don't think so. I don't yeah, they've killed my rifleman. I don't think that's the best idea. They've only got 2 what are they building? Ore trucks. That's interesting. Well, let's see. Let's see how it goes. We've got an invisible camo pillbox. There's my engineer, safe. I've got my scout vehicle, and my opponent's building ore trucks. And there's my last scout rifle. I thought, right, if they can't go in through the front, I'll go round the back. Yeah, I've picked up the engineer in that APC lot. These guys are moving out. And you see, because I've seen very little from my opponent, I've got rifles placed, and enough of them to watch out for an early attack. Because the reason I'm not seeing anything could be because he's building up everything here, say, to attack. I'm gathering stuff here. And there's my MCV. These are doing the job of securing the area for my expansion, and I think I'm going to go for that. They'd be back with the MCV if they weren't. And the APC is attacking so that my opponent doesn't know I've got those forces there. So if they send anything after my APC and my engineer, they'll be destroyed. And this is what the enemy can see, like I say. They've got light tank, and they're going for my... there you go. They can see some units now. But they're going for my oil derrick as well. So that's a fair trade, except I'm actually stealing theirs. They're destroying mine, and I can't do anything to stop them. Yeah, they've got that base well protected, and they've got a radar dome. And they haven't got a service depot, so that means they're probably going for tech. Because radar dome that early spells either a helicopter build or artillery or something. I'd always go for artillery first. It's good to have it early in that, but I never do build V2s early or artillery. I did have a build where I got a couple early, but, you know, against tough players and that, you're vulnerable. There you go, my opponent has discovered that I've got my base well protected. You see, they can't see anything. All the units attacking them, there's nothing they can do. Now look, you see the guys finishing them off, they can't even see. You need vehicles up front and enough of them. So that was an attack I wasn't kind of expecting. And there's that. They destroyed that force. The artillery did it. That was my counter-attack. And I tried to get them back, but yeah, that artillery piece there wiped out that small group of infantry. I've replaced it immediately. I've actually grouped my army down here. And there's not much here, look, left at the base. All my vehicles are moving out, but I should be protecting that. There, I'm repairing everything. No. Primary production's here. So I've covered that expansion that I'm setting up. And I'm moving in for an attack, and I've sent that, look, I need to know what's going on. I can't just run in now, I know there's artillery, so I've sent this guy and my APC on a journey to check out what's happening, and my opponent's up here, look, attacking. So I'm aware of that and had to respond immediately. They shouldn't have done it. They should have just left that alone and gone on a mission to attack. But now I'll have switched everything up here. Production, I'm assuming I should have done. Where is it? No primary production yet. My army responded. Slowly. Their base defences, yeah, we have got primary production now. And we've got artillery too. Very little's in place there to stop them. Now, I'm moving my units back. Look, there's no point fighting that. I didn't know how large a force it was. This is what I can see, look. It looks like a lot, so I have to properly make sure my units are ready. And it turns out there wasn't so much, and I had enough tanks, look, just, you know, I could have dealt with a far larger force. Everything was there. Now I need primary production here. There he is. Very nice. And I placed a second war factory there. Very vulnerable, but hopefully in secret. And that's my APC has... Oh, it's been lost. But it revealed all this to me and told me that my opponent's got very little here, but he's actually set up there. So I'm checking to see if there's an expansion here, and I'm going to attack. That's my plan. And I'm building up forces as best I can. I don't know exactly where to place my units, because I'm worrying about defending this now. So look, yeah, I've got primary production set there in the middle. My base is vulnerable, and I saw helicopters. Look, oh, there's an army. Nice. 27,000 army value to me, 26 to 19 to, yeah, 26,000 to 20,000 now. And look, I've got nothing to stop them. I've switched primary production, and I'm placing these. I've got these ready to place rather than flame towers. So I was like, oh, whoops. Look, the artillery's doing a really nice job of bombarding everything. That did its job and held up. Oh, they've retreated. I caught one artillery piece. And look, my army's hit his now. So that's what they responded to. But they're pressing on. I've moved that away because I'm assuming I'm going to lose this force. But look, they're pressing on nicely. They're unstoppable. They're destroying AA. I'm destroying AA guns as well. But look, I'm moving in a force that's enough now to stop them. I was just not happy to see the flame tower. I mean, the flame tower's working fine. To see the war factory go, not happy at all. And I lost my V2s that were produced there. And there you go, dealt with that. And my attack is in a very good position. They can just destroy everything. And there you go, my opponent called it there because there's very little here. It's got barracks and refinery, but they've invested a lot in those air units and artillery. They know the size of my forces. Look, I've got assets at each side and an attack. The last artillery piece making it stand. Let's have a look at the economy. Yeah, my opponent's run out of cash. I'm still moving forward there though, but I am aware that my opponent was set up there. I didn't destroy everything. I did build an airfield. I'm assuming there's no aircraft. Thieves. Yes, and they've sold up. But I've got thieves. There's one, and that's what I was targeting. There's an engineer on its way to hold it, and my opponent's going on the last attack. They have saved an air helipad so they can refill the helicopters, and they've lost it. The flat truck right in the middle there, and it's a veteran lock. And these are like technicians been conscripted into service against their will, and that's it. Called it just before my engineer got to... There's two engineers, but one of them is there, look. I was going to get the capture on and start infiltrating, but we'll just go through the graphs and charts for you. I don't want to extend the video too much because I've had 3 replays in this one. But that was a fairly good game, that. I wasn't expecting attacks like that on my home base. I was thought they'd be somewhere else after the first couple. But yeah, that was the army graph, look, and my opponent suffered a massive loss. Yeah, it's interesting. And there's the earnings. My opponent did well. I got a nice increase at the end. And my finishing army, I got 1 V2 and 12 heavy tanks, couple of flak trucks, some thieves, engineers, and basic amount of infantry. It's a 26,000 value army, not bad. I lost 11 structures. My opponent lost 19. I killed 180 units. My opponent killed 159. I destroyed 66,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 37,000 credits worth of mine. And I've got support powers because I'm using Russia and I've got an airfield, so I've got paratroops and spy plane counting down. Basic production underway, V2s. And I've got 6 ore trucks hung onto an oil derrick. There, we've got that one that I took from my opponent. He's destroyed the rest. Nice. I earned 88,000. My opponent earned 66,000. They were struggling for cash at the end, though. And there's basics. I was at 30 actions per minute. My opponent was at 51 actions per minute. And there's our scores. And basics. There's all the graphs and charts and everything there for you. So I hope you enjoyed that one. And I hope you enjoyed the other 2 as well. They were great fun for me. It's just a shame. It was like I didn't finish that middle one. You know, it was a good game. And I feel like I should have done. But, you know, I hadn't been playing. That was like the 2nd, 3rd game of the day. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed all of that. And if you liked it, give us a sub and a like. And thank you very much again for watching. Take good care of yourselves. And until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.